What is up, YouTube? Thought I would sit here and discuss some of the combos that you can do with Necroz, as well as the first turn combos. What you want to open up with, which is optimal, and some of the combos to do. Basically, what I think, in my opinion, is the best combo to open up would be basically this hand that I have right now. That's kind of a little bit what you want to open up right there. I mean, well, it's basically what you want to open up. You're basically gonna do a lot of different things with the card effects and try to get different effects off. But like I said, this is probably gonna be what you're gonna want to do as a first turn combo. So let's start off. I'll play Manju. Use Manju's effect to basically sit there and search Nekroz of Unicorn. And I'll add that to my hand. And then sit there. You know, the next few cards don't matter the order that you play them. You can use, no, you actually got to use, it doesn't really matter if you do Kaleidoscope or Rhoda first. But like I said, it doesn't really matter. This is just the order that I'm doing it. So next thing you're going to want to do is add Colossus to your hand. Now again, with Manju or Rhoda, either order can be. You could go Manju, Colossus, then Rhoda, Unicorn. It doesn't really matter. That's just how I did it. As long as you're picking one of the two. Next, you can do your Kaleidoscope, and you're gonna want to sit there and send the what do you call it? The Herald of Arclight to the graveyard to get out Unicorn. And you'll basically use Herald's effect after you send it to the graveyard and get out Unicorn to then sit there and add another Necroz to your hand, which I would suggest you add like Brionic, because then you can sit there and kind of pitch him for whatever else you might need. In this scenario, you're going to add him to your hand, send him to the graveyard, and then add Trishula to your hand. And then next, you play your Preparation of Rites, sit there and add Gungnir to your hand, because it is a level 7 or lower, so you get to sit there and pick any of them that are not, like Trishula, Valkyrus, or Decisive Armor, because it literally goes, what is it, 8, 9, 10. So, next thing's next. You're going to want to sit there and pitch your Colossus, add the Necroz Cycle to your hand, from your deck to your hand. Cool thing about Necroz Cycle, I don't see a lot of players running it, which is weird. I see a good majority of players running it, but I also don't see a lot of players running it. There it is. Basically, this card will let you sit there and get one out of the graveyard. If you have it in the graveyard, you just gotta get rid of cards on the field that equal like the tribute for it, or from your hand. But in this scenario, we're gonna do it a little differently. So we're gonna play Level Out Chain. And in this scenario, it doesn't matter which one you detach. I usually just attach Manju because it doesn't really matter. So detach Manju, sit there and send your Jin to the graveyard. And in this case, we're going to be sending out the releaser. So we send Jin releaser rituals to the graveyard, and we're basically going to use her for her little banish effect here in a second. Okay, so we play Necroz Cycle, and I target the Colossus, and now I'm going to sit there and banish the Jin from the graveyard to sit there and as the fodder for Colossus, because her effect lets me banish her from the graveyard when I ritual summon a monster. So bring out Colossus, and now your opponent is locked and they can't sit there and special summon. And now the cool thing is, with your hand that you have right now, you have a Trishula to prevent him from being targeted, Valkyrus to sit there and prevent them from attacking, and then Gungnir to prevent him from being destroyed by battle or card effects. So you literally have them locked, because they can't target it, they can't destroy it by battle, and they can't destroy it by card effects. And if you go next turn, like, you're pretty much set up. But yeah, like, you may or may not have Level Out Chain next turn, but still you'll have it set up. The other cool thing I forgot to mention is that Colossus 2 will also be like your fourth little supporter. Because they summon anything from the extra deck, you can negate their effect while making their attack 0. So they're literally like screwed that turn. And they can't really get over it without special summoning. And since they can't special summon, they can't get out from the extra deck. So that's like the hard thing for them. So even if they get the chance to what is it? Like use Book of Eclipse, they still can't really do too much to you, because if they Book of Eclipse it, I mean, you can still pitch stuff to like negate their attacks, or like I'm pretty sure if you throw Gungnir, like it can't be destroyed by battle or anything, even if they Book of Eclipse it. But I could be wrong. Don't take my word for it. But basically, this is like the opening hand that you want. This is what you want to open every time you go first, or every time that you can. And like if they haven't special summoned or drawn off into anything, this is the combo you want to open up with. If you're playing Burning Abyss and you've just gone second because it's game 2, then this probably isn't the combo you want to open up with, because they'll easily get rid of it. Easily. Because, well, I can't really say easily. It's just, I feel like if you go second against Burning Abyss, it's gonna really, like, suck. Because you probably wouldn't be able to get the setup that you want right away. So, trying to think what else there'd be. Oh, yeah, like I said, the combo with Colossus, it does have that little effect, so easily you can sit there and negate their effect. So if they do go Dante, you can kind of slow them down there, so that does help you. But again, like I said, they're probably not going to just be special summoning from the extra deck, so it doesn't matter. And I don't know. That in my opinion has got to be the best opening hand you can get, because literally you have yourself secured for like so many things. But I'll talk about that in another video. Next combo I'm going to show you is pretty basic. I'm pretty sure this has been on a lot of different things. I'm not really going to go through and put all the other cards back, but I'll just sit there and just show you guys this one. But let's say you for someone out like 2 Brionic with Nekroz Kaleidoscope. So let's get those both out there. Where's that other Brionic? I just saw it. Oh, there it is right next to it. Okay. And so yeah, basically let's say we get it out with Kaleidoscope here, and we're gonna need to send to level 12. So in this case, we're gonna send Shooting Quasar Dragon. So we send Quasar to the graveyard, so we can special summon out the Brionics. Assuming they haven't stopped you from special summoning, next thing you're gonna do is overlay them for Exabeetle, and I'll just explain why. When you get Exabeetle out, use his effect, you get to sit there and target a card in either player's graveyard and equip it to him. So in this case, we're going to target Shooting Quasar. He's going to gain 2,000 attack from that, making him a 3,000 attacker, which isn't terrible. And then next, if they have a card in the field, you're going to use his effect. Detach one, destroy Quasar, destroy a card in the field, go into your extra deck with Quasar's effect, and special summon out Shooting Star Dragon. And then you just have a 33 beater on the field. Easy peasy. In my opinion, I think that's like a great combo right there, because it lets you get out like a very powerful card very easily. But like Necroz Kaleidoscope can really go for anything. I mean, you got your 10 and your 11s. So literally, like, you can get out cards like, if you go Kaleidoscope, you can go what was it, like Valkyrus and Colossus with Star Eater. You can even sit there and go Trishula and Colossus by sending Star Eater. Gungnir and Unicorn by sending Star Eater. Brionic and Unicorn by sending Leo. Trying to think what else. There's not really anything else. Like I'm just really like getting out the 2 cards. those are some of the cards you can get out right there. I think those are the only ones you can get out with those specific ones. So, trying to think what else do I need to cover. Oh yeah, Debris Dragon. I don't see a lot of people running Debris Dragon, and it's very mysterious as to why they're not. Because let's say you use your shirt and you get a Debris Dragon. Say they don't stop the normal summon. Say they don't stop the effect. You special summon out the shirt from the graveyard, and then you're gonna synchro. I know you're probably thinking, oh, I'm gonna synchro for Black Rose and blow up the field. No, I'm gonna go for Gungnir. And what's awesome, Gungnir is a dragon, so therefore Debris Dragon works here. So, I mean, it's really broken. I mean, you get to sit there and you ditch your 2 cards, and then, like, you got the Gungnir, the Nekroz. So, literally, if you can get that and the other one out in 1 turn, you're literally getting rid of 3 cards to get rid of 3 of their cards. You're not really plussing too much, but you're not really minusing too much. Either you're kind of, like, equaling out, or you're going to -1. So, I mean, you got -3 to +3, so, I don't know. It's kind of tough. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would be thinking. I mean, you literally be able to start a game off where you get Necroz Mirror and Kaleidoscope and cycle out with the first turn to basically OTK them. But yeah, it's all stuff that can or cannot happen. What other combos can I discuss here? There's just like a lot of things that could shut you down. But no, Necro Cycle is really good. I don't see that many people playing it. Like I said earlier, it lets you first one out of the graveyard. So it's just like after you pitched all your cards and you play Cycle, you're pretty much set in the clear to get ready and go. So I think, in my opinion, I think that's probably like the better combos. But it's just like I don't know why nobody would not run it. In all opinions. We got like another card that would probably like hurt your combo, even with everything that you have, would be Book of Eclipse, because to my knowledge, Book of Eclipse does not target, and it doesn't target. I could be wrong, but I'm reading that it doesn't say anything about targeting. So, but like, even if you have a Gungnir, a Valkyrus, and your Trishula in hand, Book of Eclipse can pretty much hurt you for that turn and then stop your lock. Like, if I'm playing against you in a mirror match and you just got your lock off and I go Book of Eclipse, I just broke your lock. Like, yeah, you could probably get your Trishula off next turn or something like that, but it's just like, if I can OTK you with that little thing and then go Raigeki, clear your field, summon, and get 8,000 attack off, you're screwed. So it's literally, this card can make or break your duel right now, which kind of sucks. It's really good, and it's really bad, but it's really good. It's like, I don't want you drawing, so I gotta get rid of your card so you don't draw, but if you do draw, then it's whatever, but at least I broke, at least I broke your special summon negate lock. So, but no, let's go back to Dueling Network a second. Talk about some of the other cards, like all the main Necros that you're gonna use, like Unicorn, Brionic, and Colossus. Those 3 cards right there are the only ones that interact with stuff from the extra deck. So Brionic will bounce you from the extra deck. Colossus sit there and negate the effect and make its attack 0, and then special summon monsters can't use their effects with Unicorn. So you're pretty much, those are your 3 cards. If you know which cards do what from the, or which ones affect the extra deck, then you're good. Decisive Armor, I mean, hey, pitch for an extra 1,000 attack or have him on the field destroy that card. We kind of covered Gungnir earlier, you know, the pitch to protect it, and it's an own effective pitch to get rid of a card. I mean, Trishula is the same thing. Another thing I want to cover about Trishula is the fact that it doesn't target. And, 1 second. The fact that it doesn't target is kind of awesome, because you literally could have a card in your hand, a card in the field, and then whatever amount of cards in the graveyard. And if I go Trishula, you can't activate any of those after I've asked you, would you like to activate a card in response? So say you got a bottomless, and I go, okay, pick the card in your hand, pick your face down, and pick a card out of your graveyard, and you go bottomless, you can't. You would have to play it before I start the activation of its effect. Which is another thing, I'm not too entirely sure. That probably is not the best explanation. Like, a better one would probably be like, say you have a card in your hand, a face down MST, and then whatever cards in your graveyard, and I target the MST, or not target, select. I select the MST, and yeah, basically lets me sit there and, you know, do all that. So if I sit there and say, okay, I'm picking your face down, and you go, okay, chain to your effect, MST. Like, literally you can't chain the MST because like literally you can't chain it. I forget why. Like, I used to know a lot of the stuff for Trishula when Trishula first came out. Not the Necroz or Trishula, but Necroz or Trishula originally. And I remember that you couldn't chain the selected card. So I can't remember what it is. It's not that it targets or anything. I guess I guess you just got to play it beforehand or something like that, or build up a chain to play it in. I'm not entirely sure, but I am sure that you can't chain the selected card if you don't have anything else, or chain it in response to my effect. You'd have to play it before I use the effect. Another thing is, if at any point I lose, like say you only got one card in the field or one card in your hand, and say the card in your hand is like Max C, Effect Failure, whatever, you know, just DD Crow. Like, if I lose the opportunity to select a card in your hand, or on the field, or in your graveyard, then I can't resolve Trishula's effect, and thusly can't actually use it. But, that's pretty much all that you need to know for that one. I mean, you can still easily get knocked down and stuff. But it's just like, once you understand the basics of how Trishula works, you can learn how to play against it, and kind of sit there and understand it just a little bit more. But it's an easy card to get around, but it's also a great card to open up in the mirror match. Like, in my opinion, if you're able to sit there and open it up in the mirror match, and you can still special summon, then you've pretty much got the match set down, lock and key, no problem. But yeah, that's pretty much what I would say is gonna be like your best defense against another mirror match, because Trishula right there is gonna sit there and bounce your other stuff and gonna get rid of it and whatnot, so you don't want to lose that stuff. Lastly, I'll cover Valkyrus. Valkyrus is also the second best option to open up with when you're not opening up the lock, because if you can't go into the lock, hopefully you can go into like Valkyrus. The reason why is because you literally get all the cards in your hand, get out him and another monster, and use his effect, and get rid of him and that monster to draw 2 cards. So that way, if you're in the mirror match and you go second, your opponent cannot sit there and use Trishula on you to basically beat you. And that right there would very much suck, and it would pretty much mess up your plays. Like, you would lose, like, if you left your stuff on the field for them to Trish, you'd be screwed, because you would lose a spell card, you would lose your monsters. It would suck. It just would suck, because there's really nothing you can do about it. But like I said, that's the best optimal play if you can't do the lock, is to go into Valkyrus. So that's kind of the basic rundown. So some combos that you know, some combos that you need to know, how to avoid the lock, how to do the lock, how to avoid being Trishula'd in the mirror match, best plays to do. I'll probably be posting some more videos on the gameplay of it, so you guys can see a little bit of it. Oh, and using the Bird Dragon. But that's it for now, YouTube. Stay healthy, stay happy. Till next time. Peace out.